Hi, my name is Benny Fluman, CEO of Match B2B. At Match B2B, we act as a catalyst for SMBs that don't yet have the budgets or structure for a full marketing department. We help them build authority, reach the right audiences, and create meaningful business opportunities in international markets. In this case study, I want to share the story of an Israeli Agritech company, a small team with big potential, and how we work together to overcome real challenges, structure their outreach, and drive measurable results. For confidentiality, all company and individual names are fictional, but the numbers, the process, and the outcomes are based on real projects. SiriGrow Technologies is a small Israeli agritech company of just 15 employees, headquartered in Rehovot Science Park near the Weizmann Institute. Founded by irrigation engineers with deep field experience, the company developed a smart irrigation controller designed for mid-size farms, combining AI-based soil analysis with automated water flow adjustments. In a country known as a global leader in irrigation innovation, SiriGrow's technology was promising. Yet despite having working deployments in a few Israeli farms, the company remained unknown abroad. Inside the company, tension was building. The CEO, Amir Levi, was frustrated that international competitors with inferior technology were signing distribution agreements in Latin America and Eastern Europe. The business development manager, Dana Cohen, complained that she had too many one-on-one conversations without any structured system to capture or track them. Sales depended almost entirely on her personal network. The rest of the team, mostly engineers, felt disconnected from the commercial reality. When Match B2B entered, the initial conversations were not easy. Amir was skeptical. We are too small. We don't have a VP marketing. We don't have budgets for big campaigns. What can be done? Dana was worried about losing control over her personal contacts, yet they all agreed that doing nothing meant staying invisible. The first 2 months were dedicated to building the system. Data research created an initial base of 1,200 relevant contacts across Spain, Italy, Greece, and Turkey, markets where irrigation modernization was in demand. LinkedIn profiles of the company and Amir were optimized, a CRM was set up, and anchor content was built. A professional article titled "Smart Irrigation for Water-Stressed Regions." At the same time, a network of professional consultants was mapped, agronomists and irrigation experts with local connections willing to collaborate in opening doors for a commission. In parallel, we tested messaging in 2 circles: direct digital outreach via LinkedIn and email, and a field-driven approach through consultants. The combination quickly created momentum. Farmers and distributors began asking questions. Consultants introduced Dana to procurement managers, but this created a new problem. The company was overwhelmed. Every new contact wanted a call, and Dana tried to speak to all of them. After 2 months, it became clear that prioritization was needed. Leads were scored and filtered so that only those showing clear intent reached sales. An SDR was placed in the first 3 months to handle the first wave of outreach. The SDR worked on LinkedIn, email, and phone, including cold calls. Within hours of engagement, a call was placed, logged in the CRM, and insights were returned to the marketing process. After 3 months, when Dana saw that leads were warmed up and structured, the responsibility was transitioned back to her. She admitted later, "At first, I didn't believe in the process. But when I saw meetings actually coming from LinkedIn, from content, from consultants, I realized this wasn't noise. It was real." Not everything went smoothly. A series of webinars clashed with an international irrigation expo, resulting in very low attendance. The SDR initially called leads too early before they had interacted enough, and conversations died quickly. A gating rule was added. No phone call unless the lead had interacted with at least 2 content pieces. In Turkey, political conditions forced us to find a local distributor willing to front the product, operating indirectly rather than through SiriGrow itself. Another challenge was content creation. Amir and Dana had no time to write articles or prepare webinars. We solved this by using AI-assisted drafting. With recorded conversations and raw field notes, Match B2B generated high-quality professional articles and presentations, always published under Amir's name. This gave the impression of a consistent thought leadership flow without draining the already stretched internal resources. Inside the company, the process changed behaviors. The engineers began to see feedback from farmers abroad and suggested improvements to the product. Dana no longer worked in isolation, but as part of a system where SDRs, consultants, and content all fed into a pipeline. Amir, once doubtful, started using the content in investor presentations. The results were meaningful but realistic. Over 8 months, 3 to 4 new sales meetings were created per month. The ratio from lead to SQL was 1 to 8, and about 40% of SQLs turned into actual meetings. Authority building was clear. Articles received high engagement, with click-through rates of over 15%, and LinkedIn posts generated steady professional discussions. Farmers and distributors began asking SiriGrow questions instead of the other way around. By the end of the project, SiriGrow had established early presence in Spain, Greece, and Italy. In Turkey, operations went indirectly through the distributor. While sales numbers were modest, the strategic impact was significant. The company, once invisible, became a known small player competing against giants. The internal team worked around the clock, combining their own efforts with the machine we built for them. Some functions, such as WhatsApp groups with customers and basic CRM follow-up, were handed over internally. Others, like precision LinkedIn campaigns, data research, and anchor content, remained outsourced, as it was more efficient that way. The benchmark in Agritech SMBs suggested that organic-led growth of 10-20% in year 1 is typical, with sales cycle reductions of 10-15%. SiriGrow matched and in some cases exceeded those benchmarks. Organic-led growth, 18% SQL-to-meeting conversion, 40% average 3 to 4 meetings per month. Sales cycle reduction, 12% ROI on the program achieved after 7 months. The lesson was clear. For small Agritech companies, before a VP marketing is hired, an external machine like Match B2B can act as a catalyst. It builds authority, creates real leads, and integrates consultants, data, and SDR efforts into one coordinated system. Without pretending to be perfect, the project showed how a small team of 15 people could punch above its weight in a market dominated by giants. That was the story of how a small Israeli agritech company managed to build global authority and open real doors in new markets without a big marketing department. I hope this gave you both insights and inspiration. Thank you very much for listening.